People think it's funny when I tell them my story starts with Cristiano Ronaldo. They laugh, roll their eyes, ask if I'm joking. But it stops being funny when I tell them the time, 2:47 a.m, and how his face never really left my room. Or how I learned the hard way that the Jinn can wear the faces you trust the most. I'm 21, I live with my parents in a normal Muslim household, nothing strange. I pray, I fast, I listen to Quran when I study. I was never obsessed with football, but my younger brother is. He worships Ronaldo in the unhealthy fan way, posters on the wall, wallpaper on his phone, memorizing goals and interviews. Maybe that's why he chose that face. Maybe it knew exactly what image would slip past my guard. That night I was studying in my room, door locked, dim lamp on, everyone else asleep. I remember checking my phone at 1:58 a.m. and thinking, if I don't sleep now, Fajr will be a war. I made wudu, prayed my Isha that I delayed, and I recited Ayat al-Kursi and the last 3 surahs before sleeping, like my mother always taught me. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever recites Ayat al-Kursi at night, no devil will come near him until morning. I clung to that hadith like a blanket. I fell asleep quickly, face half buried in my pillow, lamp still on its lowest setting. It was one of those light, thin sleeps where you're dreaming but also aware of the room. At some point, I started having this feeling that someone was staring at me. You know that heavy, uncomfortable awareness on your skin, like eyes pressing into your back. I shifted, pulled the blanket up, told myself it was just the stress of exams. Then my phone lit up. The exact blue-white glow of a notification shone against the wall. I opened my eyes because I realized I hadn't put my phone on the bed. I had left it on the desk, facing the other way. So what light had just hit my face? My heart began to pound, but I still tried to be logical. Street light, a car, something. I turned over slowly. The room looked normal. Desk, wardrobe, the poster my brother forced me to keep on my wall, Ronaldo in mid-air, frozen in that bicycle kick pose. I actually rolled my eyes at it. Then I looked at the time. 2:47 a.m. I don't know why the digits bothered me, but they did. I tried to sleep again, this time on my back. That's when I felt it, weight on the mattress. Not like someone jumping, but like someone sitting at the edge by my feet. The springs gave a little, the blanket tightened around my toes. I froze. My first thought wasn't Jinn or ghost. It was, did I forget to lock my door? The humiliation of being found asleep, maybe my brother sneaking in. I forced my voice to sound normal. Yusuf, what are you doing? It's late. No answer. The weight didn't move. Instead, I heard something else. Breathing. Slow, controlled, as if someone was trying on purpose to be quiet. The hairs on my arms lifted under the blanket. I didn't want to look. In that moment, I felt what Ibn Taymiyyah describes, that jinn are around us like the air, unseen, but sometimes they make themselves known. I recited under my breath, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, hoping the tremor in my voice wasn't obvious. The breathing stopped. The mattress lifted slowly, like whatever had been sitting there had stood up. Silence. And then I saw him. At first, I thought I was dreaming with my eyes open. There, at the far side of my room, next to my wardrobe, was a man. He was just standing. He looked slightly to the side, not directly at me, but enough that I could see the sharpness of his jaw, the hair, the eyebrows. My brain did this ridiculous thing. It tried to fit him into something safe. Recognition hit me so hard, I almost laughed from pure shock. For a split second, in the pale lamplight, he looked exactly like Cristiano Ronaldo. Same hairstyle, same face shape, like he'd just stepped out of the poster and into my room. I blinked hard. "Yusuf, this isn't funny," I whispered. "If you got some mask." He turned his head. Not quickly, very slowly, like his neck was stiff, until his eyes met mine. The smile on his face spread, too wide, too smooth, like a digital filter sliding upwards. It was familiar, but wrong. It was Ronaldo's smile, but as if someone had drawn it from memory and exaggerated it. My chest tightened. The Prophet ﷺ said the jinn can take different forms, even animal or human. Ibn Kathir mentioned they might imitate people. That thought landed in my mind like a stone. I did what people always say not to do. I sat up and reached for the light switch by my bed. The moment my fingers touched the switch, his body changed. When the light came on fully, there was no confusion left. He didn't vanish like in the movies. He stretched. That is the only word. His body elongated, unfolding upward as if pulled by invisible strings. His head almost brushed the ceiling. His arms hung too long, fingers nearly reaching his knees. The clothes he'd been wearing blurred, like shadows sliding across skin. But the face stayed the same. The smile froze like a mask. Not a muscle moved. The eyes were wrong now. Deep, wet black, without any light in them. Just two pits set in a famous face that didn't belong in my room. I couldn't scream. My voice locked in my throat. My tongue felt heavy. I remembered what our teachers say. Some jinn can cause sleep paralysis and speech to be tied. My mouth opened, but no sound came, like he was pressing a hand over my soul. I tried to look away, but my eyes kept snapping back to that stretched figure. I whispered inside my head, "Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar," over and over. He started to move, but not by walking. His feet stayed planted, yet his upper body leaned forward like a tower tilting, joints not bending quite right. He hovered closer, the air growing colder with every inch. The smell hit me. Damp dust, like an old sealed basement, mixed with something metallic. He stopped beside my bed, towering, his head bent down towards me, that frozen celebrity smile inches from my face. Very softly, almost politely, I heard his voice, but his lips never moved. "Do you remember me?" It wasn't in my ears, it was inside my head, sliding under my thoughts. I clenched my jaw. My heart pounded so hard I felt pain in my ribs. He was mocking the way fans talk, the way my brother talks about players like they know them. He tilted his head like he was studying a specimen. I managed to push out one word, barely audible. "A'udhu." The temperature dropped. The light flickered once. His eyes narrowed, though the smile stayed frozen. I could sense annoyance, like a child whose game was being ruined. I forced it, word by word. "A'udhu billahi minash shaitan ar-rajim." For a second, everything stilled. He didn't disappear, but his form shimmered like heat waves over asphalt. I remembered Al-Qurtubi's words, that recitation harms them, that they dislike the remembrance of Allah, so I did the only thing I knew. With his face inches from mine, I closed my eyes and began Ayat al-Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayy al-qayyum. At la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la naum, whether drowsiness overtakes him nor sleep, I felt the mattress pull tight, like something was gripping the sides of it with invisible hands. His presence pressed in, heavy, as if he was trying to suffocate the verse out of me. My ears rang. I kept reciting. My voice came out thin but steady. لَهُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَمَا فِي الْأَرْضِ. As I reached, وَلَا يُحِيطُونَ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنْ عِلْمِهِ إِلَّا بِمَا شَاءَ. His breath, if it was breath, hissed against my cheek, hot now, burning. The smell turned sharp, like plastic on fire. The corner of the poster on my wall curled inward as if a hidden flame had licked it. When I said, وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْعَظِيمُ, the last words, the light bulb above us burst with a crack. The room plunged into darkness, and in that darkness, he laughed. No joy, no humor, just a thin scraping sound like metal dragged over metal echoing inside my skull. The bed shook once, violently, then experts went still. The air gradually warmed, the smell faded. I lay there shaking in blackness, heart racing so fast I thought I might die. I didn't dare move. I whispered the last 3 surahs over and over, Al-Ikhlas, Al-Falaq, An-Nas. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of mankind, and I clung to from the evil of the whisperer who withdraws. The whisperer who withdraws. Eventually, I heard the faintest creak of the door, as if it had been slightly open all along, and then a soft footstep down the hall. Morning came hazy, unreal. My mother knocked, scolded me for the broken bulb. My brother stormed in, shouting, "Who burned my Ronaldo poster?" The top edge was blackened, curled like it had been held near a flame. No one believed my explanation. They blamed the old wiring, the lamp overheating. But that night, and many nights after, something far more frightening began. At 2:47 a.m., almost every night, I would wake up without an alarm. No sounds, no footsteps, just a sudden awareness. My eyes would open to the dark, and my phone, which I started placing face down, would sometimes light up without any notification. The spot beside my wardrobe felt heavy, as if something unseen still stood there, watching, waiting. I never saw his full form again, but sometimes, in the reflection of my wardrobe mirror, I'd catch the briefest flash of that too wide, frozen smile over my own shoulder. Once, half asleep, I thought I heard that same whisper, far away now, like it was down the hall. "Do you remember me?" Now I sleep with Quran recitation playing softly, Surah Al-Baqarah filling the room, trusting the hadith that shaitan flees from a house in which it is recited. I wear my ruqya like armor, Ayat al-Kursi, the last 2 verses of Al-Baqarah, the Muawwidat. Ibn Taymiyyah said, "The heart that remembers Allah is like a fortified fortress. Shaitan can only circle it from afar." But sometimes, when the world is silent and the digital clock on my bedside table slides from 2:46 to 2:47 a.m., my skin still crawls. Because I know the unseen world is real, and the Jinn are not fantasy. They watch, they imitate, they whisper, and they love to wear the faces humans already idolize. Indeed, Allah is the best of protectors.